Alright, so I was looking across Matt Powell's channel, looking for a video that seemed fun to debunk. Now at first, I was on just this page scrolling for a couple seconds, and I saw this one first, and I decided not to do this one because I figured it was probably going to be the same thing as the last video I tried to debunk, where a creationist decides that atheism doesn't actually fit the scientific method because they misunderstand literally everything to do with the scientific method. So I decided not to do this one. And so I clicked on his channel, I went to the videos, and I noticed something. I noticed that many of these videos are attacking other religions directly. And I personally, I found this to be incredibly self-righteous on his part. I found it to be incredibly contradicting with how he says that you should follow the Bible. And it's just distasteful. It's just distasteful to go, oh, I might actually go for this one. But it's just completely distasteful to go out and attack people who are minding their own business, for the most part. And, I do this, but I have been very careful to choose my targets, right? You'll notice that almost all of my videos are directed towards Matt Powell, Ken Ham, Answers in Genesis, which I believe both of them are a part of, and for Flat Earth, I've only done anything on CC. For the most part, that's because I haven't been able to find anything from anybody else, but it's also because CC goes out of his way to just spread complete, bullshit. I go and I choose my targets based on who I believe to be the absolute worst in their particular sphere of influence. So I go out of my way because I debunk Matt Powell because he says some absolutely horrid things and he spreads absolute hate on the internet, and I don't like it. So I go out of my way to debunk Matt Powell a lot. And that's the same reason I go after Ken Ham and Answers in Genesis. But I wanted to point this out before I go after this video, because this sounds really funny. I wanted to point that out because I want
so recently in the news, I guess,
to realize the kind of people that these people are, you know?
to see Neil deGrasse Tyson here defending his anti-scientific propaganda and his ideology that there's more than two genders.
Okay, that is not where I saw that was going. That's not where I thought it was gonna go. To call literally one of the most famous scientists of this era unscientific is just fucking insane. I'm just gonna put that out there. I did not expect this to go down the debate line of trans people. But I'll do my best, man. I'll do my best.
Check it out.
My only point was that if who you decide is male and female...
We don't decide that. Biology determines that.
Well, biology is part of, sex, not gender. Gender can be influenced by biology. But gender and sexual identity are completely different from, sex. So I want to just put that out there right now, because a lot of people, including an ex-friend, believe that there was no difference between the two. They are different things. They are different words.
In the street is a construct of style and trends and what the beauty industrial complex wants you to see. If that's how we establish gender, then maybe some people want to be fluid within that gender.
The reason the conversation has become an issue is that we assign and allow certain privileges to people based on their sex. If you are female, you get to compete only with people of your sex because female...
Okay, so... this is even worse than the first video I did. I'm not sure... Okay, I think this is me reacting to Matt Powell reacting to Neil deGrasse Tyson in a podcast arguing with somebody else, and that is deeply funny to me.
Are at a disadvantage in physical competition to males in almost every sport.
So I'm wondering whether the future of those sports is you don't contest gender with gender, you contest hormone ratios.
Well, did you hear that?
Which is a fair thing. Because, or you do what wrestling does. I think it's boxing. And they do weight classes, right? Could also do weight classes.
He thinks that hormone ratios are the way to determine what we should do with sports, how we should...
Okay. This is coming from a place of ignorance. The hormones are what cause the difference in strength between men and women. That is what causes that. I don't know what he's going to say here, but I have a feeling he's going to say something completely out there, but I want to get that out of the way. That is the reason why men tend to be stronger than women, is the hormones.
To assign people. So it shouldn't be based on male and female, it should be based on hormones. Well, guess what? Hormones are not constant. They change all the time. So...
yeah, that's entirely true. Which is why it would be a range. That's why it would be a range. It wouldn't be a set number, hey, you can't be here, because that's just completely idiotic.
To say, well, hormone ratios are the way that we determine who should compete with who, that is ludicrous. I'm surprised that
It's actually a very good idea. Very good solution to that problem.
he even made this argument.
Well, hold on a second. But the difference is physiologically between men and women, and not just hormonal. Women have a different hip angle. They have different heart capacity. They have different lung capacity. I mean, there are profound
Which is literally caused by the hormones, you dumb fuck.
physiological difference.
Profound physiological differences.
Different bone density. We've had
Okay, so then we
athletes
find...
on the show to talk about it.
I don't have a problem with that. So you find ways to slice the population so that whatever the event is is interestingly contested. So, for example,
Did you catch that? The events just have to be interestingly contested. It's not about fairness. It's about just having an interesting match.
Completely misunderstanding. So the thing is that the idea of an interesting match is because it's such a tight one-on-one. It's a fair match because it's a tight, like, you're not sure which person is going to win. That's why a match is interesting.
I wrestled in my life. I was captain of my high school wrestling team.
Great. Would you wrestle some woman who identifies as a man down to the ground? I would hope not.
Yeah? Dude, that's a good way to lose. In wrestling, like, I'm pretty sure they do weight classes too. You wouldn't have been put in the weight class of somebody else who would be, like, super easily forced down by raw strength. Like, that's not how that works.
I would hope that you'd be man enough to protect and help women that don't understand that they are women.
Okay, this is entirely sexist. This is entirely a sexist argument, and it's condescending as hell to trans people. Fuck you, Matt Powell. Fuck you.
Women to understand that they're women. You know, I think that's the more loving approach, is to help people that have gender dysphoria, which is a real thing. Some people experience it. You need to help those people understand that they are what they were born as.
It would be
Which is a good way to cause that person immense mental anguish.
unfair for me at 190 pounds, which is what I was back then, to wrestle someone 120 pounds.
Hold on, it would actually be unfair for you to wrestle someone who's also 190 pounds but female.
Let me work my way there.
Bullshit.
So, what the trans conversation is foisting upon us is the need to find ways to slice the athletic universe such that we still have interesting, fair matches. And is it a
See, he actually specified it this time.
combination of did you go through puberty as a male and then transition? Did you have puberty blockers?
Look how confused he is.
What is your hormone level now?
He's got to bring in all these different factors that will not work. What are your hormone levels now? I mean, how ridiculous. How ludicrous. This stuff.
You can fairly easily, like with calculations in a simple spreadsheet, you could actually input that information and with the scientific calculations, calculate that to a way that it can be matched up with other people of a similar ability.
Stuff would constantly change all the time.
So it requires more creativity.
Which is why you would update that before every matchup. Like how you weigh in before a boxing match.
Thought. Rather than saying no to it all, let's be creative about this. It's an unsolved.
Which is a good point. It's not impossible to find an actual way to do this. It's not impossible. You just have to want to find a solution to it.
Solved problem, yes.
It's unsolved for you. People have already solved this problem. It was never a problem, actually, for thousands of years. Only now are people...
I'm sorry, but when in those thousands of years did we start doing actual professional sports? I'd say the start of that was during the first Olympics. But if you really look at it, the time when it started to be commonplace for like thousands of people to be watching, like, a sports game or listening to one is, like, around the time when, like, the radio was created. Back then, we didn't have the capabilities to find a solution like we do now, and back then, we also didn't have as much openness as we do now with the trans community and the gay community and the whole LGBTQ plus community. The thing you need to understand is just because we never really did anything like this in the past does not mean we shouldn't try in the present.
People like you coming along and saying, well, this is such a problem. What are we going to do? Here's what we can
Because it is a problem right now.
do. Tell people to quit playing charades as if it's real. If a dude
And here's him being a condescending prick again.
dresses up in high heels and a skirt, it doesn't mean he's a woman. It means
Funny thing is that I am obligated to wear a maid dress to my future brother-in-law's bachelor party. I'm not gonna go into the story. If you want the story, I might do it as like a fucking sub goal or something later down the line. I don't know.
means he's a man that's masquerading as a woman who's a
I know I'm a man. My pronouns are he, him. And I was born a dude. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna have a little bit of fun, man.
counterfeit. There are men trying to get into women's prisons. They're identifying as women just so that they can get into women's jail cells.
That's a whole slew of problems, but I'm not gonna go into that right now.
Are you going to trust some criminal that committed some horrific crime or murder to tell you the truth about their gender? Are you kidding me?
So
But
you
there
don't
are
even have
women
to have that question.
whose opportunities are being curtailed today because they are being forced to compete, whether in sports or elsewhere, against people who have some kind of advantage over them.
We're in a transitional.
And this is what it comes down to, is women are being forced into situations that they don't want to be forced into. It is absolutely bigoted to believe in transgender.
No fucking way! That is the biggest pot calling the kettle black moment I have ever seen. Are you serious right now? You have the audacity to call somebody else a bigot. Really? Wow.
And to push that on other
Holy
people
shit.
when we know there's only two genders. When we
See what I was talking about? About how I pick people based on how they act? This is the kind of hateful shit, which is the reason why I go after him. This is the kind of hateful shit that is the reason.
know that this is a scientific fact. Don't get on me and call me bigoted for
I don't want you to be talking about scientific fact when you wholeheartedly believe the Bible's events as literal factual events when they have been proved wrong time and time again by science. He is doing what he does with the Bible. He is doing what Christians do with the Bible, except he's using science. He's picking and choosing what parts of science he wants to, like, say yes to and what he wants to say no to. That's not how this works. You don't get to just hop on the bandwagon of science when it supports your bullshit. That's not
We're just
how this
pointing
works.
out the elephant in the room here. That gender is binary, that we weren't confused
Gender is different than sex.
about it. We weren't wrong about it for thousands of years.
I think a lot of people would have an issue with what you're saying, Neil, is because they see women being denied opportunities. They see an unfair playing field, metaphorically and literally speaking.
So fix the playing field. What?
Exactly! We have the technology, literally.
Yeah, and the only way to fix the playing field is for men to simply stop insulting all of...
He literally, Neil deGrasse Tyson literally just gave a solution, and you're saying the only one is to be a fucking prick. Get the fuck out of here.
of women
God.
by pretending to be women and infiltrating their sports and forcing themselves upon innocent women. Some people lie. It's just the way it is.
Yes, some people lie. But that is no reason to literally deny the whole demographic. Take me, for example. You have lied on my channel. You have lied. But I don't throw out all of the Christians. I don't even throw out all of the creationists. I go after you specifically because it's you I have a problem with, Matt Powell. It's you. There's no reason to throw out the whole demographic for a couple liars.
And some people lie in your face and then they want to tell
Like you? Like you.
you that you have to accept that lie that they just spoke. It is so narcissistic.
We got it, folks. We got it, folks. He never actually admitted to it, but if you actually listen to what he just said and taken his past transgressions, he just called himself a narcissist.
I am not going to lie to people's faces and pretend
Bullshit. You literally just lied just now saying you would never lie. Wow.
that there's something that they're not. I'll accept people for what they are. If
Then accept trans people for being trans people, asshat.
somebody's a man, I'm going to accept them for what God made them to be.
Maybe God made them to be trans. Did you ever think of that?
If somebody's a woman, I'm going to accept their womanhood. I'm not going to question that.
Maybe a biological woman accepting the fact that she is, or that he, oh fuck, man. I gotta, maybe a trans man accepting that he is a man is part of God's journey for that man. Did you ever think of that?
They shouldn't get on me for not accepting them when they couldn't accept who they were to begin with. And
Bullshit.
leftists go on and on about how loving they are and how they just care for everyone. They're all about acceptance when they're rejecting the feelings of most women that become very uncomfortable when a biological male comes into their locker room or a biological male comes in.
That's why you do what some places have actually already done. This is something that they've done with bathrooms. I'm assuming he's about to say bathrooms. You do a male-only bathroom, a female-only bathroom, and a genderless bathroom where anybody can enter.
Into their bathroom. It's very uncomfortable for normal people. And yes,
It's not that hard. Male, female, genderless. That's all that needs to happen.
I said normal people. People with gender dysphoria, it's an abnormal issue. It's something.
See, the reason why you call it an abnormal issue is the same reason why it's considered. You calling it an abnormal issue is why you consider it an abnormal issue. Because you know what the reason for the non-acceptance is? It's because throughout history they haven't accepted it. Now we're finally open to this, and you are saying, oh, that's bullshit, because you are still on the previous bandwagon of denying it. It's really funny how circular that is. It's really funny because if you really think about it, the whole reason you think like that is because you think like that. And I know that sounds really stupid, but if you think about it, it makes sense.
Thing that needs to be dealt with. There's therapy to get people to realize that.
I swear to God, if he's gonna reference conversion therapy, which has scientifically been proven to not work and actually make matters worse.
They are what they are and not what they're not. You don't need to be affirmed in a lie. You need to accept.
It's not a lie, asshole.
That which is true. Call me a transphobe, call me bigoted, I don't care. I'm going to stand up for real women, and I'm going to stand up for real men. I'm sick of this stupid agenda that says that men can become women.
You, Matt Powell, talking about other people's agendas. God, do you guys realize how much of a fucking hypocrite this man is? Do you guys realize? Because this is what I'm trying to get across in these videos. The videos where you see me actually get angry, I'm not having fun in those videos. But I started this journey, and I'm damn well gonna end it. So, let me make this clear. This man is a horrible man. This man is a liar. This man is a cancer on humanity. Not because of his faith in God, but because of what he does with that faith.
Women can become men. You gonna grow a uterus, man? Yeah, I don't think so. You gonna give birth to a child? Yeah, I don't think so. That's for women. That's what God made for women. Us men are
Sexist and condescending.
made to work and be providers. Women are to be protected.
Sexist and condescending. Again.
There's nothing misogynistic about that. Christianity is not misogynistic. It's real love when you say you're going to take care of a woman. When you go the Bible path and take...
Yeah, but to say that that woman needs to be protected is honestly disgusting.
the Bible way of loving and providing for a woman and marrying a wife. That's what we're called.
You can have a wife that can still defend herself.
Called to do. We're called to be protectors. We're not called to cower and play charades and pretend that we're something that we're not. What we see here with Neil deGrasse Tyson is a public spectacle of stupidity.
Really? Really, bro? Really? Because I could say the exact same thing about you. And about the two idiots that Neil deGrasse Tyson was debating on that podcast.
Public spectacle of the ideas that somebody will come up with without God. Once you take God out of the equation, once you start saying wild things like you think the world created itself from magic,
Condescending, and he's on a high horse now.
I might add, or that we descended from chimps or fish. I mean, once you enter in the land
Poisoning the well.
of fantasy land where you're saying there's more than two genders and that men can become women, etc., you
Poisoning the well. Condescending.
really realize that there is a real spiritual battle going on here.
High horse again.
That this isn't just a difference of opinion. This is a literal fight. And if Neil deGrasse Tyson and others are going to so boldly say that they think there's more than two genders and they're going to be proud of their lies, I'm not going to be ashamed.
Who's proud of their lives? Huh? Who's proud of their lives here? Or who's proud of their lies here? Matt Powell, who's the real one that's proud of their lies?
Ashamed of the truth. And I'm certainly not going to be ashamed of Jesus Christ. With that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video. God bless.
Oh my god, it's my father and stepmother's Wi-Fi password again. Oh my god. Christians really like this one, don't they? I mean, it is the whole sales pitch of eternal life and eternal youth. Shout out Shelley Segal. I really like that song, man. I really like that song. Anyways, thanks for watching all the way to the end if you did. And thank you for being here for, I guess, the whole reason why I do this now.